Okay, so you're a writer, right? And you've got this amazing idea for a novel, but it's buried in this sprawling, messy collection of notes. In this explainer, we're going to break down a really systematic way to turn all that creative chaos into a confident first draft.
Yeah, this is the classic problem, isn't it? You've done the brain dump. You have pages and pages of dialogue, scene ideas, character thoughts, but it's just a total mess. Trying to write a novel from that? It feels like trying to build a house with just a pile of wood and no blueprint. Honestly, it can be paralyzing, and so many great ideas get stuck right here before a single chapter ever gets written.
So let's just go ahead and give this problem a name: the writer's creative chaos. And look, it's a super real, super common struggle, but the good news is the method we're looking at today is designed specifically to solve it.
And this really gets to the heart of the challenge. I mean, how do you build that bridge from this wonderful, unstructured pile of creativity over to a solid blueprint that you actually need for a novel? Without that bridge, it's just so easy to get overwhelmed by the details and spend more time planning than actually writing. Well, the method we're exploring today, that's the bridge.
All right, so before we get into the how, we need to understand the why. This whole method is built on a philosophy of simplicity. And I want to be clear, this isn't about making your story less complex, not at all. It's about managing that complexity in a much smarter way. What this mindset is really all about is you regaining control. The process has to be simple and customizable, so it serves your creative vision, not the other way around. By having a clear path forward, you eliminate that dreaded analysis paralysis, and the result? You spend your energy on what matters most, writing with the confidence that comes from knowing your story is built on a solid foundation.
Okay, so what do you need to get started? Well, this method doesn't start from zero. It actually synthesizes two key documents that you'll need to prepare beforehand. Just think of them as the raw materials for your novel's blueprint.
This slide lays it out perfectly. It's kind of like the two sides of your brain you need to get working together. On the left, you've got your rough sketch. That's the messy, creative what of your story. Then on the right, you have the structural outline. That's the logical how, using the 3x structure as a roadmap. You absolutely need both, the raw creativity and the logical framework, before you can start building. So, with those two ingredients ready to go, we can move to the heart of the process, the 5-step blueprint. This is the practical, step-by-step guide for building your chapter-by-chapter outline.
But first, let's talk about the central tool you'll be using, the virtual corkboard. Imagine every single chapter of your book as its own little index card. This visual approach is the absolute key because it lets you see your entire story's flow at a single glance. You can easily move scenes, combine chapters, and see how one little change affects the whole narrative. It's a game changer.
Okay, here they are, the 5 steps. First, you set up your visual workspace, that corkboard. Second, you synthesize your materials, which means you anchor a key plot point from your structural outline to a chapter card. Third, you map out the major story beats, giving your story its core pillars, like the hook and the inciting incident. Fourth is where the real magic happens. You integrate, pulling in all those rich details from your brain dump to flesh out each chapter. And finally, number 5, you have to stay flexible. This process should serve you, whether you build chapter by chapter or just map the big moments first.
And this gets right to the core of step 4. See, it's not enough to just drop a cool scene into your outline. This method forces you to ask why it matters. So a snowball fight isn't just a snowball fight, it's a moment that reveals a character's fear of intimacy. Or maybe it exposes a crack in a relationship. Every single external event must drive the internal journey forward.
So, that's the theory. But what does this actually look like in practice? Let's move to a little case study and see how this all builds into a real outline.
All right, take a look at this breakdown for a novel's first act. You can see exactly how it works. Chapter 1 is assigned the hook, and it's fleshed out with scenes from the brain dump, like that snowball fight. Chapter 3 gets the inciting incident, the mom's arrival. And notice this, the first plot point is so significant it actually spans 2 chapters from different points of view. That shows you both the external decision and the internal motivation. This is how you build a rich, layered narrative, one chapter at a time.
So, what's the ultimate payoff for all of this prep work? It's pretty simple, actually. You get to write with total, unshakable confidence.
So let's just recap the benefits. By organizing all your creative notes, you gain real clarity on your story's progression. That clarity allows for a deeper integration of plot and character, which makes sure every single scene has a purpose. And all of this leads to greater efficiency and, of course, the most important benefit of all, confidence in your story.
And really, that's the ultimate goal, isn't it? To remove all the structural guesswork so you can focus your creative energy on what you love most, the writing itself. This method basically provides the roadmap so you can just enjoy the drive.
So the framework is here, a clear, systematic way to transform your ideas into an actionable plan. The only question left is for you. Now that you have the blueprint, what story will you build?